Good morning, grade 10s. Could you guys give me a green check mark in Blackboard just to let me know that you guys are ready to go and we are good to go? I'm trying to warm up like a fiend here, you guys. My office is so cold right now. We actually have, me and Mr. Beetlestone actually have heating wars going on here in our office right now, you guys. Perfect. Looks like the majority of you are ready to go. Now, my other question becomes, just before we actually get started, a little bit of pulp culture trivia for you. Oh, look, thank you. You guys are probably reminding me. The chat's not on, Miss Ward. There we go. Is that what you guys were all reminding me of? No, you're just chatting with me. All right. Alex. Seriously, it's usually Mr. Beetlestone that wins, though. Hence why I'm so cold all the time. All right, but a little bit of pop culture trivia for you guys. What is this image of? Do you guys know? I'll actually bring up the chat here, you guys. Do you guys know oh, nice, Jade. You are so right. That's right, Alex. Absolutely. Happy Back to the Future Day, you guys. That's right. This is the day that Marty McFly comes back to the future. I'm so glad you guys knew that. I totally didn't think you would. Awesome. I totally didn't think you guys would know that. That's how old I felt when I was putting that up. All right, because I grew up on those movies. All right, so now that we're done that little piece of pop trivia culture, I want to just let you know that today, you guys, is basically we are wrapping up our unit, our Life in a Nutshell unit. We are wrapping it up. All right, we are done. So next week, we're starting a clean slate and we're starting our novel. So reminder, if you have not stopped by the office and picked up your novel, you need it for Monday. That's a really big a deal. Okay, so make sure that you get a copy of the novel as soon as you can. Here's our agenda today, you guys. Quickly, I just want to review our narrative paragraph, where we're at with that. We're going to go over a conversation self-assessment, and I think I mentioned that last class. Then we're going to quickly go over our learning outcomes for Unit 1, and I'm going to give you a little bit more provincial exam practice, all right? So that's where we're heading today. So make sure you hand in your rough draft. That's number one thing. This morning, I finished marking all the rough drafts that were submitted. So make sure you go check your feedback from me, because that should really help with your good copy. So make sure you take into consideration what your fellow student has suggested to you and myself, and see if you can come up with a better draft. Okay. Submit to the peer review, and make sure, can you guys message me your in Moodle? Send me a message in Moodle. Don't send me a message over Blackboard right now. Message me in Moodle when you have a chance who your partner is. Okay. Because Taylor just asked a great question. What if your partner doesn't ever submit anything into the rough draft? That helps me come up with different pairings if need be. So Taylor, you're just going to hang on. Okay. And hopefully Lily will submit that rough draft today for you. Okay. Devin, yes, it does. I would prefer it to be that, the same story that you did for the descriptive paragraph, and just write it from a different perspective. That's what almost everybody's done so far, and that'll be great. Awesome. Then Alex, make sure you submit your good copy. Okay. So if you did both the peer review and you got your rough draft submitted, make sure you submit your good copy. Okay. So that's your narrative paragraph. All right. So let's talk about the conversation self-assessment. Okay. What you'll notice is I've opened up that assignment for you guys. It's at the very bottom underneath your narrative paragraph assignments. Okay. What I'd like you to do, this is a little bit of more self-assessment for you guys as well. What I'd like you to do is think back through the last unit, and this might take you guys some time to really think about this, but I want you guys to come up with some concrete examples of when you participated in conversations in our classroom. So this can be through Blackboard. This can be through a web tool that we utilized, whether it was Padlet, whether it was Poplet, whatever it is. Or even on one of the field trips that you attended, okay? Because that's a really important aspect of our program as well, okay? Within the assignment, I've given you this rubric that we created as a class, and then I've asked you a couple specific questions related to these criteria that we've set up, all right? And then you have to come up with some specific examples where you have demonstrated this criteria, okay? So you can either use screen captures if you've got something, like head back to your Poplet or whatever it is, or just write me a very detailed, descriptive, concrete example of when you have showcased these 3 points. So being respectful, being engaged, and then the last one is showing support, okay? So make sure you review that criteria and then give me some concrete examples and then upload your assignment, okay? And I'll be going through that as well, okay? Just let me clear this. Is that clear, you guys? No, so Taylor brings up a really good question here, you guys, and I'm just going to bring up that question because some of you may start showing me some questions here around, this is one aspect I didn't do, you guys, is increase the font size. Give me 2 seconds so that you guys can actually see the chat here on the screen. All right. So no, specifically, Taylor, great question, right? Do we have to remember specifically what we said? No. If you can give me the overall gist of what you did, that would be great. Okay. So that's really, really important. Okay. All right. So Avery, you'll catch up. Don't worry. Okay. If you're lost, it's all good. We're just quickly reviewing the conversation criteria within the assignment that I'd like you to do. Yeah, it looks like, Abby, there's 3 within the assignment. Okay. Yeah, but conversation between all of us during class time. Okay, Taylor? Yeah. Awesome. I love how you guys are still talking about Back to the Future as well. I've struck a chord. That's awesome. Okay, so next, you guys, after you have completed that conversation rubric, so this is, remember, narrative paragraph is number 1, okay? Then you need to do the conversation self-assessment. That's number 2, okay? Next, you need to do the learning outcomes, and this does not have to take a lot of time, all right? This should be a 5-minute quick little thing that you can do, easily complete. All right. This is a little bit of feedback for me about what you thought about the unit. Okay. What I've done is underneath the conversation self-assessment, I've done a quick little assignment. And what I'd like you guys to do is just a quick write in the online text box, just basically reviewing the learning outcomes from Unit 1. Do you think you personally achieved these goals? And can you give specific examples or reference any assignments or conversations that relate to those goals? Okay. So, and you guys are probably like, what goals, Miss Ward? I don't remember no goals. So remember, I'm going to remind you what those goals are. Remember, I always outline the unit goals at the top of our unit. So you're taking these 3 goals that we set out, right? Life experiences are what create us as people. Writing creates emotion and connects us to stories in our past. And reading different types of texts help us to connect the past, the present, and predict the future. Okay. So what I would like you to do is take those 3 goals and do a quick write. Okay. And what you'll notice on the quick write, and I've even given you some formula on what the quick write should look like. So when you open that up, ladies and gentlemen, I've given you your goals again. And then if you scroll down, I've given you the questions that I've just gone over as well. Do you think you achieved these goals? Give specific examples or reference to assignments, conversations as to why you believe you've achieved these goals. And you'll notice on the right-hand side here is what quick writes are all about. Okay. So you want to listen to the prompt, which I just gave you, those two questions. Then you want to take some time to reflect about those prompts. Do not write yet. Don't just start writing or typing. Okay. You want to think about what you're going to formulate within your written response. So think for 1 minute, think for 2 minutes. Then you want to write for at least 3 minutes. Feel free if it's longer. A quick write is not, I am not marking this. This is a free write. So I'm not marking your grammar. I'm not marking your punctuation. I'm really just looking for content here. Okay. What are your ideas around it? And we'll be doing a lot of, this is my little introduction to you guys for quick writes, because we're going to be doing multiple ones of quick writes probably in the next unit. Okay. All right. So Jade, great question. I'm just going to bring up the question here because a lot of students will probably be asking me this in the next couple of weeks, right? Yeah. Do you guys ever get to pick a book that you want to read and then maybe do a book report or something on that? I'm still wrapping my brain around because I would love to do what we call in the English world, literature circles. They're kind of like book clubs. They're like mini book clubs. And exactly, you get to pick a book, it might be one from a list that I have to approve, right? So it might not just necessarily be one specifically that you just read and do a book report, but I want to make it more collaborative. Okay. But I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how we're going to do that in this scenario, right? Online when we're not actually in a physical classroom. So I do still have to wrap my brain around that one, you guys, but I definitely do want to try something like that to give you guys a bit more freedom around what you want to read, right? And how we're going to showcase what you learned from those novels. All right. So give me some time. All right. All right, Jade. And hopefully I'll come up with a solution around that idea. Okay. So let me head back to my PowerPoint. And so that is the learning outcomes. So you need to make sure you could do that. Okay. Now, the second aspect that I want you guys to do is your provincial exam practice. Okay. So we have already done part A of the exam, of that first exam that I had you guys look at. I think it was the 09 one. Okay. You should have completed part A already, which was all multiple choice. Okay. Now I think we've done enough writing a little bit that, I would like you guys to try part B. Okay. So now part B actually still relates, I believe, to the readings that you did for part A. So you may have to go back and review some of the reading that you did in there. All right. But I believe there are still 2 multiple choice questions in part B, and there's called a written response. Now, no, Alex, I'm never going to ask you to submit your practice provincial exams. All right. If I ever do, it will only be to see where you are on the scale. I'll never actually mark them. All right. They're never for marks. I think you guys are under enough pressure that your final one is worth 20%, right? So, we can't really see this as well. But we'll see what we can do. In the answer key, you guys, you will find all the answers for the multiple choice, but you will also find a rubric, okay, for the written part. And this is where I want you guys to focus, okay, because this is how the provincial exam team marks your written work. So you can see that it's actually a 6-point scale, okay? And that's really, really important to know that. So really go through this rubric. Okay, so number 5 is that, or number 6, sorry, it's superior, okay? In-depth description and discussion and synthesis of ideas. Really read through how they describe a 6, okay? Demonstrates an insightful understanding of the text at an interpretive level. May make inferences. Are you reading in between the lines of your text, right? May show understanding of literary techniques appropriate to that specific genre. You explicitly use support from text, quotes. You're constantly going back and saying, you know this because the text says, okay? What I like those, see that last sentence though in that number 6. Despite its clarity, response need not be error-free. So yes, grammar and punctuation and everything does count, but if it doesn't impede the meaning, it's really, really important for you guys to realize that that doesn't mean you still can't get a 6, okay? And then you can see that it goes down from there, and they explicitly state. Now, before today, I did actually try to get you guys some student samples to show you guys like what a 6 looks like, what a 5 looks like, what a 1 looks like, right? And I'm still hoping to do that for you guys. I think that's really important so you can wrap your brain around what does a 6 look like. But unfortunately, I can't find any right now. The website, the ministry website where you guys download your exams only have the grade 12 student samples. They don't have any grade 10. And I don't think we should use grade 12. That's just a whole nother level. So I'm hoping that by next week, I can actually come back and show you guys some student samples. And then you can actually compare where yours might be, right? So that's really, really important. So you guys can actually use this though. And once you've done your written response, you know, hold it up to the rubric. Where do you think you fall in? Okay. So that's really important as well. So no, I don't want you submitting this yet. So Alex, Devin, we don't need to submit, the part B yet. Okay. This is just for you guys to practice. Okay. That's really important. All right. And that's it, you guys. That's all that I want you to do. So I'm going to quickly go back to that first agenda slide and make sure, here we go. So we know that we need to complete all aspects of our narrative paragraph. Okay. Rough draft, peer review, good copy. We know that we have to do the conversation self-assessment. We know that we have to do the learning outcomes for Unit 1, your quick write, and then you need to do your provincial exam practice. Okay. Next week, we will be moving on to our novel in a day study. And so make sure that you come down to the office, you guys, and pick up that book, pick up the novel. All right. So that's it for live classroom. I'm going to be heading back to my office to Blackboard. The other thing that I wanted to mention again, you guys, please message me in Moodle who your partner was for your peer review. Okay. And other than that, we're good. Alex, sorry, I knew I shouldn't have said novel in a day. No, don't worry. It's just what I've called the unit. All right. So we'll see you guys back in Blackboard. I will stay on Blackboard for the next half hour as well, you guys, to answer any questions. All right. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, that's done.